Hello and welcome to Confirmation Bias News. Today at the top of the hour, the global ultra-rich have been released from prison after a 6-month sentence, following the wildly popular and democratically decided upon form of reparations where all rich people were put in jail for 6 months, and they were also shown 2 months of what it was like to live in poverty and squalor before that. The idea behind the policy was that rich people being so disconnected from everyday experience was clouding their political objectives and policy making. It's now been 2.5 weeks since the ultra-rich were released from prison, and the ad hoc organization Coalition of the Ultra-Rich released a statement today saying, "We learned our lesson, quote, big time." In a press conference today, they detailed their plans for rectifying all that had been done wrong.
Let me say, we've been through an ordeal.
Lesson learned, big time. I was jet-setting around the world. I was eating caviar, and I had no idea what it was like to be poor.
You knew there was this abstract concept called a poor person, and like you saw them around sometimes, but the idea that they had a subjectivity that was like mine and that their experience, which was obviously very harsh, was experienced by a subjectivity that was like mine was something that just hadn't occurred to me.
And at first I was like, okay, why prison for so long? Why prison for 6 months? I haven't done anything. I'm innocent. They made it clear during the section of the day where we went to the reading group, watched videos of stories of people sent to jail for nonviolent crime who are innocent. We read a lot about kind of the history of racism in the prison system, and it really made the day-to-day prison life really pop the political message.
Yeah, message received big time. And, you know, we're rich, we're powerful, we have a lot of money, we have a lot of influence, and that means we can make change in the world. And so we're happy to announce big changes are coming.
And we're definitely, number 3, I'll just say now, number 3 is abolish global poverty. On board 100%.
We're just talking about the steps to that. Number 1, we just have to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again.
Yeah, I don't know who got the authority to put all rich people in jail for 6 months, this whole 8-month program. I guess I'm told it was democratic, so we're going to have to close that loophole real quick. And it completely conflicts with the amount of property I have. Like, if you have this much property and you do something wrong, you forfeit some of your property. It's only once you're out of property that you start looking at something like jail as a punishment.
Yeah.
Like, that's just common sense.
It's like these things that happened to us are so wrong. They shouldn't happen to anyone, least of all us. Look at it this way. The way it was before, the only people who experienced poverty were poor people.
And that's horrible.
Yeah, that's horrible. That's
I know what
bad.
it's like to be poor. Listen to me.
Yeah. Whew. And then after this horrible policy was introduced, the amount of people experiencing poverty increased by quite a lot by the number of all rich people.
From a utilitarian perspective, it's an absolute gong show. Horrible violence.
Ending global poverty. So first step, end it for us. That's easy. We know how to do that. Just turn the clock back, make it like it was before.
But also make it illegal for anything like that to happen in the future. If that involves some sort of restriction on the democratic mechanism, if that's going to involve affecting who authorizes the press to print what, I don't know. We're going to look into that. So the second step, which is really crucial, is to find out who is responsible for this, who caused this program, what were all the steps.
We're launching a full-scale investigation to find out how did this happen and how can we stop it from happening. You know, limiting democracy, limiting freedom of the press, those are just ideas. We don't know how this pernicious thing spread, but we're going to find out.
Yeah, and if you're guilty, I mean, just turn yourself in. Why are you delaying the pursuit of ending global poverty?
Now, this, might not happen in our lifetimes, but we're confident that our offspring, protected by the actions we take today, will in the future carry out step 3.
Yeah, and we'll leave them a sizable inheritance to make sure that they're able to fulfill those dreams.
An inheritance with a note on it that says, "Note, earmarked for ending global poverty."
Yeah, and I mean, they're good kids, so.
I love my kids. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I also have great kids.